All right, so now we're gonna make the layout lines for where the hole is gonna go on our cornhole. This is the actual cornhole where the bags are going to slide into, so it needs to be really accurate. And so, like always, I recommend you guys use a pencil when we're laying out our stuff. I'm gonna do a marker just for the sake of the video, but you wanna be very accurate for this. The first dimension we gotta know is dead center. And if you remember, these are 24-inch wide panels. So I'm gonna come over 12 inches, and I can do so with my tape measure. Snap a quick mark right there. And I'm gonna grab a straight edge. This could be as simple as a piece of wood, but I like that the speed square hooks around the corner so I can get an ultra square line for a cornhole set, okay? That's 12 inches from there and 12 inches from this edge as well. I also need to measure 9 inches down from the top. I'll say that again, 9 inches from the top. I'm gonna make a little line there. Take my straight edge, and now I'm gonna make an X of where I need to drill my hole. All right, for making our hole, there are a couple different options that I just wanna talk about. I strongly recommend using a hole saw. However, this is a tool that probably a lot of folks don't have. They sell them everywhere. And if you're gonna make a bunch of cornhole sets, I would recommend you go out and get a 6-inch hole saw. You'll need a couple other different tools for that. It attaches to a drill, and you'll also need a center punch and a hammer just to get that hole started. And I've got a video on how to actually do that. The other way too that most folks will have is utilizing a jigsaw. You'll need a couple things for that though. You'll need a way to make a perfect 6-inch circle for you to follow on your jigsaw, and you'll need a drill bit, and so I can drill a hole somewhere within that circle that it's going to get cut out for my bit to go in and then make my 6-inch hole that way. Before I start and I use my hole saw, what I need to do is to just put a little divot in this wood right here, right where I put those crosshairs. Okay, I'm going to use my center punch for that. Find center. And just give a little hole for that bit to start in. That is a critical piece for us here to be successful, because these hole saws can really be a bear for us. But this bit right now is gonna thread into that little hole that I just made, and I'm gonna ever so carefully cut through this piece. Drill setting is on as high a speed as it goes, and on the drill bit setting itself. Hey, there we go. All right, using the jigsaw method to cut out your 6-inch hole, you're gonna need a few things. You're gonna need a means to draw a perfect 6-inch hole. You can use a protractor, you can use something else that's 6 inches. And please use a marker for this so that you've got a good thick line to actually see as you're cutting. There's gonna be a lot of sawdust that accumulates around that blade, so you just wanna see that thick marker for that. I've got a drill right here with a 3/8 bit, but really you just need a bit big enough for that blade to thread into to start your actual cut. Once we get through the final cut, you'll use a file or sandpaper to sand to that actual line that you drew. So what I'm gonna actually do is drill my hole inside this hole, and I'm actually gonna cut on the inside of my line. I'm not gonna cut into the good part of my board. If I do, I stop the machine, back it out, realign it, and then carry on my cut that way. I can set my jigsaw aside and just go around with my file now and clean that up, but I got pretty close. I'm pretty happy with that cut.